Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about muscle tissues. Let's not waste any of your time. Let's get right to it. Now when we're talking muscle tissue, we want to talk about right off the bat is that the three types. We want to talk about the three types, what the control levels are, and what the striations situation is. But the three types, as you can see there in the diagram beside me, you've got your skeletal, you've got your smooth, and your cardiac. Okay, and there typically is only two types, but cardiac is made of smooth muscle, but it has some other things, those intercalated discs that kind of separate it out from traditional smooth muscle. But your skeletal muscle, that's what we're talking, muscles that are attached to bones. Okay, that is voluntary. You control that. If your leg is doing something that you're not telling it to, then you should be very concerned about that, and maybe watch Ghostbusters or something. It's also striated, okay, which are striations are these thick bands that kind of hold the muscle tissue together. It helps with some of the work that needs to be done, a little strength, a little support, that kind of stuff. Smooth muscle, okay. These are typically organs themselves, like a kidney, liver, okay, glands. It's just a muscle that doesn't have the striations, it's just, it's smooth, as I said, and it's involuntary. Okay, you do not control it. It's got an automatic control process. I mean, like with your heart, which also is a smooth muscle. I mean, you wouldn't want to tell your heart to beat, like, okay, beat, okay, heartbeat. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do anything else. You don't want to tell your lungs. You have to tell your lungs to inhale, exhale. You don't want to have to tell your urinary bladder to get stuff going. Matter of fact, your urinary bladder does the talking, at least for the most part. Tells you when it's time. You don't want to tell your digestive tract to do its job. No, this stuff happens automatically. You don't control it. When it's time to, contract or constrict, whatever, that just does it on its own. And in the cardiac muscle, as I mentioned, that's the heart muscle. Again, involuntary. You don't want to deal with that stuff. Striated, because of the amount of work that a heart muscle does. Just think about the number of times that it contracts and constricts. I mean, over, a week is the number's big enough. You think a lifetime. So if you've got a normal pulse and you're getting, let's see, I'm drawing a blank on what a good number is. 50 times a minute. Okay. That little dudum, almost a beat per second, but we'll just say 50, and so that's per minute. So that'd be 3,000 per hour. Okay, times 24. I'm gonna have to get some paper and pencil out or something. But I mean, they've got huge numbers if you think about a year or a lifetime. And again, you don't want to do that each time, but it's got to as well. All the time. We can't have any letdown on that. And you can see some other where the nucleus is on these things and what they are. Those intercalated disc for a heart, they're special because it's part of the impulse, the electrical impulse process. They allow those things to get from one cell to the other. And your cell is very unique, even more than that it has its own control process. I mean, smooth muscle we don't control. But it does come from the brain. It does come from the hypothalamus or any kind of a chemical messenger signaling process. But the brain has its own pacemaker type process to keep it in check that even your brain doesn't control. That's how important and secretive. Which is why you can be brain dead, but your heart's still beating, because it's still going on. It's still working. Well, that's our video over muscle tissue. When we come back next time, we're going to be talking about the nervous tissue. We'll see you then.